What a response from G2 goes in with that win on Bind means we will definitely get a map 3 in this series. I'm your host Yingsu and I'm back here with Kakuka and two very special guests. We have Starbound and Dodo Nut in the house. Welcome, you guys. What have you been up to today? Have you been watching the games?
Yeah, we're in the crowd just watching some of the games. It's really fun, you know, making your own signs and holding them up and cheering on your team. So it's a lot of fun.
I mean, we explored Berlin before this, and then we quickly came here and got sat down and watched some games.
Oh, I gotta know, what signs did you make? Who were you cheering for?
Yeah.
Did you make a sign, Dodo?
I was just drawing on the signs, not really making them.
Oh.
So who are you supporting for this matchup, though? Who do you have winning?
It's kind of hard.
Is it different answers?
Well, if MIBR too old, I would have guessed MIBR, but since they're going map 3, I feel like G2 might take Sunset.
Ooh, okay, I like that. But let's take a look at the map 2 first and have a look at the comps because we saw two very, very different comps. Kakuka, what did you make of this?
I mean, I like the fact that we see Mimi back on the deadlock. I think that there was a lot of value added to that. The way that that was stopping MIBR, starting on the attack, they had a lot to deal with. And even though we see Vanya there at the bottom not having the best numbers, her assists were amazing and her paranoia has really made the difference.
And Starbound, what about you? How did you feel about these two comps?
Yeah, obviously the deadlock's to me a little different. You can hold down the sites a lot better. You could see they play a little bit more passively on the A site, and when they got pressured into hitting A, that it was really difficult for them, especially not having a nade lineup to break those sensors. So it's pretty strong.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of those rounds because Kakuka, we expected them to have a good defense half. Were you impressed with the way the G2 played that defense?
Yeah, I think that, as you're saying, right, you can play A-side way more passive, and especially when you have a couple of things, right? We see a couple of whips on the side of MIBR at the beginning, uncharacteristic, right? Like this is a 2v1 and G2 come up on top, and this kind of aggression at the beginning is not really necessary from them. Even though the plan is good, I think that G2 and the awareness that they have with the space that they're given, it's just better, right? Overall, I think that at the beginning it was shaky for MIBR, probably because they did not expect the comp, and then they also did not expect the pressure that G2 was putting onto mid. Time and time again, I think that is what we were seeing, right? You have different layers to this. You have the deadlock, but you also have a rescue that will constantly go up against you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she was doing. But also this round too, Kakuka, a little bit later on.
Yeah, exactly. We see a lot of utility having to be dispensed here, and actually stopping SRN has to be one of the priorities for G2. And this is a great example of them doing it. And it's not because of the deadlock, right? Like, deadlock is on the other side of the map. This is something that I really like from G2. And now we see her going onto side, and it's a corner that is not clear. But there is so much going on. The utility that you have to dodge, players that you have to be aware of, that clearing that corner and everything going G2 side causes this round.
Honestly, if you're res Q in that corner, you pray they don't check you. And the second they don't check you, the round is basically done. But let's talk about one player I think was probably on the top of the scoreboard by the end of that map, which was Amy. And we were chatting here a little bit before, and Dodo, you were saying you feel like she's a little bit underrated in this server.
Yeah, I definitely feel like she's underrated and not really talked about. She definitely is a really good Senti. She does her role. She can also frag. I mean, what else can you ask from your Senti?
I mean,
do all of that.
We're sitting next to another great Sentinel player as well. Starbound, how would you rate her on the scale of, you know, the rattiness? Can we see more rat out of her?
I mean, obviously you can see from these plays, she's very confident in taking her solo fights, which you have to be like on a Sentinel. And when she isn't, she just has like perfect util to capitalize off of, so it makes her very strong and very scary to play against.
I think that especially the other day when we saw the first match against Crew, Amy was the kind of player, as you're saying, right? Is the confidence, is the trust. She never has the kind of shaky aim. She's very clean in everything that she does. It's always a pleasure to watch Amy.
This is the thing about G2 though, right? Sometimes it's even hard to pick who's the best player on G2 because even like the fourth best player on G2 can sometimes be the best player on G2. And speaking of, we gave you guys a bit of a head-to-head after map 1 of Rescue versus SRN. So let's catch up and see how things are going right now. SRN is just so consistent. Starbound, I saw you were jersey swapping with SRN as well. Tell me what you think about SRN as a player.
Yeah, SRN's just like been putting on a show in all these matches, especially I was watching the regional against Team Liquid in Brazil and they were popping off. So seeing them here on the stage, still being able to have that impact, like really shows a lot of character.
Yeah, exactly. And also thinking about the next map, we see the rescue is catching up on those first duels, taking a little bit of the advantage, and that was definitely a differentiating factor. But as I'm saying, thinking about the last map, can we expect SRN to go on that neon? Dodo, what do you make of that? How do you see Sunset being played without the neon? How important do you think the agent is?
Feel like obviously neon's very broken. Feel like we all should abuse that until until it gets nerfed. But I guess some teams have like different play styles, and sometimes neon doesn't work for them, and I guess that's fine as long as they can adjust it.
Especially on SRN, right? It feels like as long as SRN is comfortable, things should go MIBR's way. And we will be heading to Sunset in just a moment. And again, Starbound, I feel like you have a very special playstyle on this Sunset. And do you feel like this is what they need to exploit? You know, maybe lurk a little bit more, go mid a little bit more, be a bit more ratty?
Yeah, I think like Amy's already been having some like really good games, and she could definitely take control here on Sunset with any aggressive lurks or that confidence that she has. So it's definitely going to be like really fun to watch and see what they can pull out.
Yeah, and it looks like we won't have any changes.
Yeah, I mean, my eyes go to two main characters for me here. Besides the duelist, I'm looking at Petra. She made that swap back into the Fade. We know that it's lovely to see her play that agent. And on the other side, I'm looking at Jelly because their performance today and throughout this tournament has been amazing.
Jelly is just great. I feel like all the people that haven't seen Jelly before should have her on top of their list in terms of one of the best players in this tournament. Very quickly, you two, before we let you go, who's going to win this map?
I gotta go with MIBR just because I'm rooting for SRN.
Oh,
I feel like I have to go for G2 now because we're up against each other.
We love it, we love it. And very, very lastly, we have Uber and Wyatt about to cast the last map. Starbound, would you like to do the favor, take my job, and toss to Uber and Wyatt?
All right, I'm sending it to you, Uber and Wyatt.
No notes from me, Starbound. Nicely done. Great to be back here on the caster desk. Our third and final map is Sunset. And obviously, the winner advances. The loser goes to the lower bracket to take on Zeta Division on a run of their own, Wyatt.
Not a team I'm excited to go up against right now when all 5 players are white hot and they have all the momentum in their favor.
And Serena doesn't have to stop moving to shoot me in the head.
Dangerous prospect. We're heading into a map here that I have felt both of these teams have excelled on. We saw MIBR destroy Giant X here with all 5 players fragging out. We'll see if we get more of that as they're up quick towards a fighting towards elbow. Paranoia from Vanya is perfect though, and finds 1 for 2. The rest of the players are actually just trying to fight this crossfire still.
MIBR though cut down to size. Just Sayori and Melissa left to work with. Vanya doubles back to the corner, says, no, I'm fighting this. I'm sick of MIBR just, getting into my house and stealing my cookie jar.
Petra can just give this up for now, fall back. You still have Mimi to play with. You have that utility for a retake situation to try and, fault line maybe off of the spike tap, or just gather up, scale back in as the 3-2 that you should be trading out against and winning out against.
So the pace, understandably, has slowed down a little bit. Petra gets a hit there. Big one, dropping Sayori down to 13. See backside get cleared here. Well, they might be about to realize that G2 actually pulled off the site in its entirety. Play from Link here, nice little fault line connection, but Sayori's still going to be able to get the plant down. Now getting some util of her own ready to go as Amy and Petra on this crossfire. In they come. Falls back by the flash. Now we'll have a crack at it. Melissa throwing shots out here, trying to suppress them as much as possible. Mimi just walks into a headshot and out to 1 versus 2, and Petra will be on the line. Calling an ambulance, not for her, but for you.
G2 are firmly dispelling the doesn't win pistol rounds accusations. I think that's the 4th of the series now, if I remember correctly.
No, this series has been more about their struggles on the anti-eco.
Yeah, it really has been. That's the new G2 curse. They do a great job, though, in that crossfire, cleaning things up early. But, I mean, realistically, it is just Vanya hitting that well-timed paranoia, going 1 for 2 on her own. Makes it all too easy for the rest of the G2 players to take things by the book. Right, you have a breach and the fade, double initiator utility for a 3v2 pistol round retake. I mean, you got that thing locked up as long as you play it smart, and they did.
Now, MIBR, no, they have to respect that. G2 one way, they're over a day long, so they instead trend towards mid now. There's the tripwire here. Looks like MIBR want to cross this quickly. Jubish going to get lit by that. Able to step back, a bit of TP forward there by Melissa. They are fully committed to this split. Only 2 players inside the side for G2, and Amy's going to be overwhelmed instantly. Jubish brings Mimi down, and all of a sudden, no resistance remaining for the defenders at B.
I mean, what is that? We spoke of the curse, and suddenly it's activated into a 5-on-3 2-man deficit. They do have the Bulldogs, though. Rescue trying to close in. Patrick's the first, just pure spam through the smoke. Good opening.
He's been so consistent. The game sense for his smoke shots has been fantastic, but Rescue there steps up with a better weapon and is down by Jelly. Finding with a TP. Yeah, that did not expect that.
I don't know about that. That's a little bit too risky to go for, but I suppose in a situation like that, any risk is maybe worth taking. You're down by such a significant deficit. Disastrous for G2 on home soil. Just 1 round in. The new curse. We just talked about it. You gotta be kidding me that it happened straight away.
Well,
oh no.
MIBR giving the Mastercard Thrifty a lot of airtime over the course of the series.
Amy was ready with the Bulldog to stop that assault from Market coming through, but it looked like she just got scrambled when the fault line came in and then realized, oh, I can't round the corner now. I need to get the cage down, but the timing was just off, and SRN swings first shot, headshot with the Sheriff, still in sick form.
All right, MIBR, once again, just so hard to keep quiet in these early rounds of a half. Coming with some pretty respectable weaponry, given that they've pilfered all of it from G2. And again, the economic boost it gives you if you turn this round into a win, which you should by rights. You've got such a great buffer developed credit-wise.
And multiple Bulldogs recovered, and look at the cash. 4 players, around 4K. The lowest is SRN, who invested into the Vandal. G2 would benefit seriously from even just doing a bit of damage of their own in this one.
All right, Dizzy there, dealt with by Rescue now. A couple of shots through the smoke. SRN cops away with one of them. It's going to be Vanya with the right click. She's able to get to safety back behind the box, and Rescue takes some liberties. Spike goes loose, and Jubish able to recover it. As Vanya will still be feeling the pinch. Sayori gets in there with the judge. And however, slow down. Tripwire does see G2 coming now.
Amy walked into it purposely as well to expose that it's the Cypher there, so maybe just going to be the one, but Petra is in tow.
Mimi set up, has some util to work with. 2 flashpoints and an aftershock up for the breach now. Again, the double util retake is pretty darn nice for G2 to work with. Melissa's under pressure, and it's going to be Mimi that takes it down. Jubish gets in from the top of mid, and it's all up to Petra. Halves it. Swing. Takes a bit of damage, and Petra now is in this. Headshot to Jubish. Around the corner. Goes the Prowler. Sayori falls! What a comeback for Petra! You rifting each other back and forth. Even she can barely believe it.
You have got to be joking. How are they able to make that happen with such a significant weapon deficit? All of the knowledge that MIBR have of their positions, they just have to swing onto her at the same time, but she's able to isolate each.
What?
That is mental. I mean, my honest reaction. Oh my god, man.
Again, Mimi and Petra coming in for the retake with a lot of util available to them. They can really slant the odds in their favor. Still shouldn't have won that round, still very unfavored. And MIBR able to buy up.
Yeah, I am just stunned. And yeah, MIBR's economy was so good anyhow that we're just into a buy. I mean, this is fine, I guess. Basically, the game has equalized itself. The missile round, none of this even mattered. We're just onto a normal game of Valorant now.
Here's the breach fault line set up. Vanya respects it, backs up. Paranoia thrown in, is going to slow SRN down. They've got a satchel out of the fight, back behind the one-way. Melissa wants to keep edging forward. Dizzy can be recovered here. There's no danger in doing so, as G2 are playing pretty far back in halls.
MIBR look intent on trying to crack halls open. They have to deal with this double setup. Vanya in the bait position. Maybe take a shot, teleport out, and then swing back when Rescue is fighting.
They just check it raw. The contact from SRN goes horribly wrong. Sayori was able to win out that raw fight, and around the corner, Dizzy gets the job done. Here's a Rolling Thunder. It's going to catch on to Petra as she absconds.
Yeah, the Dizzy just completely nullifies the attempt at that kind of setup specifically because it's going to flash those multiple players and reveal them. The danger of doing that against a Gecko is shown right there.
Still, you have double initiator on a retake. Petra's used all of her util, though. Mimi has it to burn. Listen, no need to overcommit to that. Sayori is going to be caught behind the box here, but no mechanism from G2 to dig her out yet outside of that aftershock. Melissa doesn't see either Amy or Petra. And there goes Mimi. MIBR back in it. These two teams are throwing absolute haymakers at each other.
G2 just desperately trying to get back in, but at that deficit, MIBR have way too many players set up ineffective crossfires. Even if Melissa doesn't find that, this kind of setup would have been good against, frankly, a newer, more current meta comp on Sunset. But when you're going up against the Gecko there, that position that Rescue is trying to play tucked in the corner is just going to get revealed. Unfortunate for G2. This really is a clash of the old Sunset meta versus the new. Not seeing a Neon here feels surprising at this point, to be honest. MIBR really thrive with the classic comps that we saw for mostly that first half of 2024. They feel at their best, at their most comfortable with them, whereas G2, they're playing more to that current style.
Honestly, MIBR's VCT team did that as well. Fun fact. Oh dear, the new box is not being checked, and Petra has it all at her fingertips. Sayori challenges it at least, evens the odds a little bit, but in goes Rescue. Amy's able to find that one with a classic. And okay, I guess we're just going to thrifty each other over and over and over again. It's Melissa fighting Rescue, who was inside that dark cover. Gets MIBR to a 2v3.
I have retrieved the spike.
Just an eco round, by the way. Amy does have one rifle and hands at the very least, with Vanya just the classic. So, listen, if I were to give any of these two a rifle right now, it would be Amy, if I'm being totally honest. She has been incredibly consistent in the highly important moments, this being one of them.
So they're splitting here because obviously Melissa has the option to double back and TP onto the spike.
Left.
Should it need to be recovered. So MIBR don't want to play together. A lot of that side for util set up at B, so just so much early warning. Okay, so here's a TP into the B side. There's still a tripwire here for Jubish, and that's going to be triggered, but
10 seconds left.
MIBR are going to be able to get this plant down and set up.
Yeah, and just threw a dark cover towards A as well to keep G2 guessing.
Spike planted.
Spike is planted for main. Of course, in this new version of Sunset, it is harder to play that pure, you know, spam game that we see pretty much every round of the past. No longer the case.
Vanya didn't see anything there, so they know that Boba is effectively clear. So Melissa and Jubish trying to play the old school post-plant setup. There's a cam here to play off of as well. Out trots Mimi. All of G2 starting to converge now upon that spike. A one-way thrown down. It's so annoying now with that box in place. And Melissa actually TP'd into a paranoia. Amy with the stick. Vanya and Mimi get involved and guarantee the defuse.
And right there, MIBR just play things way too safe, and the changes to the map are so evident in a moment like that. That one-way dark cover that can be placed essentially shuts down the B main spam play in its entirety.
Yeah,
you can only have a player spray from one angle, and you're just cooked. And now in this new version of Sunset, that's a situation where MIBR really needs to be playing more proactive, honestly, and trying to catch them out in a 2 versus 3 to find something to even it up.
Unless you throw your own smoke down, right? And then just take the risk of not being just identified by your tracers.
Yep, basically. So G2 convert a second thrifty in the 5 rounds that we played so far. There've been 3 thrifties in 5 rounds.
Yes.
Crazy.
Melissa really, because mid is given up here entirely by MIBR, she's playing very passively on that A side. Timing might work against her here though. Yep, swung into the double face. She's able to get back of it though. Could have gone way worse.
Yeah, she is feeling the pressure in that situation with the paranoia ready to go out just as a defensive mechanism, but will
not again.
Surely.
Surely. We're definitely
check
checking this.
time.
No worries.
No way they don't
Definitely
check
going to... No,
It's
they
the
will.
new box. We already
SRN's looking at it.
lost.
Yep, they've said... Oh, no! Not again!
Oh, goodness! Even more this time!
Well, sometimes disasters occur in 3s, folks, and Petra has gutted MIBR in the middle of the map with the old sneaky beaky sit behind the box trap.
And the last 2 players as well, just getting lit up by a little ult on top of that. Amy says, why not? Let's just make sure we win this round.
What
How about we break their economy too? Why not?
What a day to have
Something
eyes,
simple.
Wyatt. What a day for
What a day for eyes. What are they to turn fully to the left even? That would be a little bit nice. That is tough. G2 not
10
intending on
seconds
hunting
left.
for this anyhow. Their economy is not, you know, totally in the place they wanted to be at, so they're just going to retain all of their rifles.
Well, map designers looking on, rubbing their hands together, saying, yes, that's right, exploit the new features we have installed in Sunset.
We are getting a game that feels like it should be in the trailer for the map changes we saw. And this is how we changed B main, so you can no longer spam the spike. And look at how you can control mid from the new box. Like, actually just tutorial gameplay.
Oh my god!
Good job, SRN, good job.
Guys, don't do what I did again, okay? They are.
I didn't think anyone was going to do it 3 times, Petra.
And no, surely not. Sure.
Petra has gotten 50% of her kills from that one position on the map. I don't think they're going to let that happen again.
I would be stunned. It is so... Petra is such a fun player to watch. Initiator main, but again, just acting like a duelist at times. Just going for whatever.
And then she hits him with the old, do as I say, not as I do.
they give her the... Yeah, and then me, trying that in my ranked games, and Van Silly raging over comms at me. Like, it is just... But listen, when you have the quality mechanics and the aim of Petra, you're offered liberties from your teammates and coaches. They'll allow some shenanigans on occasion when you're coming up with multi-kills.
You've just got to unleash her, really.
Good. Yeah, you just got to let her go sometimes and forget that she's playing a Fade. And, you know, maybe you should be sending a Prowler for your duelist at times, but
we'll overlook
boring.
that, yeah. That's really a 1%er kind of thing. Right, just jumping around 7, folks. It's getting a bit silly out here. Oh, looks like we're still going to do it. Showstopper for SRN! They do get back around the corner. Mimi with some damage onto the offending Raze, but not enough to neutralize her. Amy might have a timing here. It's perfect! But Sayori is very quick on the flick.
Rescue wants to try to find a timing on this and slips into the site, distracted by the wingman temporarily. Neural theft popped as well.
Jubis spraying there through that cyber cage. Spike is now down. 3 players for G2 to work with. The Rescue's able to find Jubis in. Okay, we are going for the overdrive. Sayori pinged out by a horn over on the side here. Rescue stretching that LG to its limits. That's going to be Petra getting involved. Good trades here from G2. They have some presence on the site now. Jelly needs to be dug out, and Melissa wants to get ahead of this dark cover, but Jelly's caught with util in her hands, and Melissa caught with the stars in her eyes.
We were just a hair away from another Thrifty, but we didn't quite get there. G2 finally able to stabilize, playing that 2v2 in a very clean fashion at the very end there as well. Petra again tallies up 2 more on the board in this round.
Sayori
finding that nice timing.
She's had a great map, despite it being a little oppressive for MIBR. Some of these just responding to timings and aim corrections. Yep, yeah, you're good, Mimi, don't worry about it.
So at some point here, G2 need to really be more prepared for the showstopper rounds. They have gotten caught legitimately every time there has been an attack side showstopper. That they really need to pay closer attention to that and mind their positioning, because it's also frequently MIBR going really fast with them too, so.
Yep. I mean, Mimi miming the experience of trying to shoot SRN in that situation. Here they come again. This time, B-side essentially given up here by G2, despite having good weaponry to work with.
So MIBR set up this post plant though, where they're going to try to play more forward in the site.
Mimi's 1 away from Rolling Thunder Wire.
Could be pivotal. Yeah, this is the new Sunset, the new Crossfire's being set. Oh, look at this retake utility. It is comprehensive.
Yeah, Aftershock there actually caught onto Rescue in the end. Jelly tucked here at the back of the side. Here is that Rolling Thunder coming through. It's MIBR looking to make use of it. Sayori lets it go. Melissa's able to find 2 off the back of it. Jelly still pushed up here. Wingman dealt with by Petra now. 1 versus 3. And she's able to get her first, get ahead of the fault line, but down to 41. This is a big job, but Sayori is low, very low. A tap, a push-up. Petra is her! She is unchained! And a defuse here gets G2 out to 6. This is getting unreasonable.
Actually inexorable on this map. What is this, 14-3, 15-3? It is madness MIBR played that post plant so well. G2, you saw that wave of util that came in onto the site initially, where the relay bolt came through, covered everything close, nullifies that close to Boba Crossfire that you now have to set up. And then it gets countered by Sayuri, ripping that rolling thunder. And when things get scrappy, chaotic, earlier on in the series, it was Jelly and SRN that were really taking over in terms of the firepower, but Petra, in regard to that aspect of the game, is just #1 in the server, bar none.
Where are you?
Right, mid-control here, MIBR are pushing up. Mimi has to be ready for it. Great adjustment. SRN, though, gets through and makes it a 1-for-1, but Vanya's there to trade. G2 up in numbers defensively. Amy very sharp.
Spike down, B.
And this round's going to be very quickly dismantled here as Zhubish has to make it work with the Guardian. Meanwhile, the raid boss Petra on the other side of that wall, just biding her time. It's going to be a multi-swing here out from Boba. Zhubish has to respect the paranoia. Now, though, too many heads to shoot at. G2 get their 7th.
Yeah, I was going to say, Petra biding her time. She did for about half a second, and then
Not a known time biter, in
promptly
fairness.
rotated all the way upstairs and started sprinting right back in.
I don't care what anyone says.
Boba, it's just
The Dutch scare me.
so
She's terrifying.
And even in this, in that instance, Amy just feeling the confidence, swinging in a way where typically she wouldn't, to be honest. That's not, the swinging out in the open and tapping down multiple players isn't really the Amy percentage play that we're used to seeing. It's really, it's a testament, if anything, to where G2 are at right now mentally. You can see it from their expressions, the coaches' expressions, the confidence on maximum.
Good Cypher Cam placement here. This will spot the mid-stack of MIBR. That's going to be rechecked now by the Prowler, forcing MIBR out of mid entirely. Where to now?
So much danger for the Brazilian side here as well. Look at their economy, and then you peek over on the opposite side with Mimi rolling thunder, just waiting for an opportune moment to use that, turn the tides of this round. Whether that be in a flood situation or a retake. Dizzy forced to re-clear, and luckily that we'll see if someone is behind that box.
G2.
And no one is there.
G2 can take a double swing off some timing in mid. It's going to be the rolling thunder. Can they get out? Rescue gets in there. Fast lane deployed. Mimi already found SRN as they weren't able to get out of mid, and they say, that's enough for us. We've also got the neural theft because we got a corpse, baby.
And look at this, 40 seconds, all of MIBR bottom mid. No map control. Look at G2. Rescue is immediately pivoted and posted back up into B main. Cover going out. The time is dwindling.
30 seconds left.
The one-way going to be thrown out here as well by Vanya to slow things down even further. Zhubish lingers just a little bit too long. Taken down in mid.
Yeah, Petra just picked up the lurk. I think that was just a little jiggle peek. Vanya's going to get all of the info, and if I know Vanya, she will not be swinging from this box. She is always playing safe, always playing intelligently. She knows why she gets free kills like that.
She knows Sayuri's there as well. The fall line doesn't hit her. In fact, the one that comes from Mimi is devastating. Now Melissa is a sitting duck. That's 3 for Vanya. She gets the job done. 3 for the Omen. And G2, okay, now they're starting to clear. Now they're looking like themselves.
Watching Vanya as a player, she's really the definition of letting the game come to you. I do not see many players that are so patient and intelligent to the level that she is. She just never plays in a way to try and force something on the opponents, try and go for an advantageous, or not advantageous, but rather like a slightly too risky swing. It's those kind of things that are really just outside of the realm of her play entirely. And especially on Sunset, I think that shines in her play. Really impressive player.
So far, by any standard, folks, this has been an utter drubbing. MIBR right now. Folded into pretzels by this G2 onslaught. Another attacking round, though, another opportunity to get onto the board. It's SRN with a quick satchel onto the side here. Stinger, though, they've got to get up close, and Petra slaps her down. Not today.
I know exactly.
Ooh, Jelly, okay, sorry. Okay, 3 off the Sheriff, now you're online. Thrash deployed here, jumping in towards Boba. Vanya pinged out there as well. They might be spending a lot here to try and get this round. They've also went for the neural theft just now. But again, they've got to back away and play a post plant here.
Play a post plant. They have not the best weapons for this range. Mosh will delay at least a bit, but
there's a one-way here.
And the numbers should be overwhelming. The health should be overwhelming. One straight bullet will send Mimi to the grave.
And TP across now. MIBR trying to defeat the one way, but Vanya's going to be there. Jelly with
Last
4,
player
and it's
standing.
Vanya. A chance for her 4th too. Still time to work with. Another smoke available in just a moment. Drawing Melissa out of position. It's just a shoulder pick. Good patient play. Now she might have to stick. Just to the right. Melissa doesn't know. We're at half and counting. Melissa has to stop her, and Vanya says, "Thanks for coming. I'll be taking the round."
Goes down, but what does it even mean in the end, other than I think Vanya would have passed Petra on the scoreboard? Yeah, so Petra, okay, content with that. Ah, yeah, you went down? Cool. I get to at least tie top fragging with 16 kills right now. This is really, again, MIBR just faltering to the difference in this Sunset versus the old one. It's again just playing for main. Look at the easy kills that Vanya's finding from that one-way dark cover. It's just too good at nullifying those positions. And with the superior long-range weapon, it's just all too easy for her.
Really cerebral player is Vanya. Beautiful 4 kills off that round. 32 kills on 2 players of G2, 13 on the other 3.
G2 tried to mix it up by going for something far more proactive early on A. Despite having the Neon, that has not been something they've been overwhelmingly interested in here and there. A tad bit of aggression. That was a moment where they go for it. It's punished. SRN showstopper finally shut down.
Mimi got it this time. She's got to be pleased about that one. Having to deal with the offending raise each time they go for the showstopper. Mimi gets there, and here it is. Vanya on the side again. What a menace! What a hellion! Okay, it's a 10-2 half here for G2. Nothing really seems to rattle these girls right now.
And at this point, I'm just looking at the neck-and-neck race for who's going to top frag on G2 Goes It. Is it Petra, 18-5, or Vanya, 18-6?
Unbelievable stuff here. It's a 8-round lead for EMEA's last remaining team here. And so far, they're looking pretty good on the side of map. Stick around. We'll be back with the rest of Sunset.
Go!
Man, this has really been a tale of 2 different games. The first 5 rounds of Sunset, we had 3 Mastercard thrifties. And then G2 just go and win 8 rounds in a row to dominate that first half.
Some say G2, others say Petra and Vanya. Okay. And both reasonable takes, if I'm being totally honest. The 2 of them combined, sitting at 36 kills right now. And I should have done this during the break, but for a little bit of quick math, there are 36 kills in total, actually, on MIBR, is what I just discovered. So if you factor that in, a little bit tough to imagine that MIBR are anywhere close in this game right now.
The math is not mathing.
No, it is not. G2 have been utterly dominant. I think that they're playing the map tactically on a totally different level from MIBR. And that was a question I had for MIBR coming into this, because when we saw them on Sunset the other day, they blew out GIANT based on individual skill. That was it. And now we're seeing an outclassing as far as the team play.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of individual skill as well, though, if I'm honest with you.
That as well.
On the G2 side.
Yeah, and when you get them both together, that's when you're up 10-2.
Yes, up tremendous.
Go, go, go.
All right, here comes G2. Pass it on to B. stack away from that B side by MIBR, so they are going to be priced into a full retake, but you'll note the breach util is there. Melissa's got a bit to work with as well. Amy, though, this is a nasty little spot, but there's just too many things to look at. SRN, bullet right between the eyes of Amy, and in to market we go.
Just strayed a few steps too far. Far too many angles to watch from players from MIBR that might be rotating from A, and there's that dark cover in the main. They're going to pull out a market, but the paranoia will stifle them temporarily.
Okay, a lot of those flashes coming out now. Vanya paranoid for the time being. Aftershock though on the spike location as Wingman tries to get in there. It's SRN on the swing. SRN to try and salvage things here for MIBR. Sayuri has to step up herself now. Rescue's going to dive into the fog, head first into the smoke. Sayuri's going to be there. It's going to be Mimi to salvage now, but Jelly gets ahead of the defuser. And MIBR get that all-important pistol to stay alive in this series.
They retook that with some serious gusto, getting back in from market, just placing the dark cover onto the spike, protecting the diffuser that entire time. And unfortunately for Amy, a rare mistake there, really being pressed up too far in that position mid. Knowing that when the rotate comes in, there's just far too much to watch.
Second guessed herself
Definitely
there as well.
regretting not playing a bit further back and listening for that audio cue rotate and then pinching in from market.
Well, I'm looking at my watch wire, and it does appear to be time for a thrifty round. So how this game is going.
That's a pretty fair estimate.
Death
Well, okay. I mean, there's 5 classics.
Yeah.
Pretty unlikely there would be a
I
thrifty.
maintain my position, Your Honor.
Not even a frenzy, not even a sheriff. I mean,
Yeah. G2 spotted out though through mid, so this is very telegraphed. Melissa able just to dispense with some of this util to slow G2 down. They are, for all intents and purposes, corralled into market, and now they'll emerge. Rescue with a recon bolt at the ready, but Melissa is waiting with a Spectre on the corner. Petra will step up, as will Mimi, and it will be knocked down summarily. Blink and you'll miss it.
Right,
MIBR convert.
returned to normalcy. The most clean anti-eco round you could possibly ask for, aside from, tragically, one player will have to rebuy their light arm. That is a massive
moment of silence
for
that, yeah, 450 credits.
Thank you. And maybe if Melissa lets someone else get all the kills, Omen ult, I mean, maybe you give all those somewhere else, let us run, you know.
I've really thought about this.
Considered,
Yeah.
it's, you know, 9 out of 10. Pretty good. Not bad for an anti-eco. G2 have the full buy, aside from one light armor on Amy, who's going to be that late presence in mid as the rest of the team make an effort towards A that does get slowed a bit. Neon's fast lane used early.
This could be a nasty fault line. That should catch on to at least 2 players, but Rescue's going to be forced back. Player on the corner was pretty nasty, but Petra, even on the back foot, can bring 2 down. Sayuri with just a Spectre here. Now one way going to be thrown up here, but there's a big move for G2 into elbow now. Reinforcements are on the way, and Amy might be in just the position to stymie them from Link.
And now Sayuri is feeling a lot of pressure, gets a dark cover for safety to try and rotate back into the site if necessary, as Rescue dashing close, low HP, trying to space with the rest of her teammates to get that plant in. It's going to go down on default.
Melissa wants to pay off his paranoia, but the smokes are still in the way. Amy, great positioning there. Able to see Sayuri over towards the Link side now, and there it is. MIBR's bonus taken off the tracks, and it's dangerous here. G2 are within striking distance of a series win at 11 rounds now.
G2 do a nice job just taking a small couple moments of pause there before getting the spike down, allowing some of those smokes to fade and getting in position to swing for each other when that flood attempt was predicted to come in on the spike tap, and it did. They handled that well. Yeah, you can see this moment right here. Once all the smokes are depleted is when they went for that. G2 touching distance of getting into the upper bracket final. It would be the 3rd year in a row at a GCC that they're able to do so. So long as, excuse me, they can close things out here.
Big presence in mid here. Sayuri aware of potentially some probing towards top mid, but it might be dedicated 2 players to that part of the map that are going to be a little ways away from helping via Boba, and now MIBR been locked into the site with that dark cover. Fast lane up here for Rescue. Zubich wants to get close to the cyber cage. Rescue's going to have a double face to deal with. One for Zubich is going to be traded out. Here's Melissa, but she's very, very low. She's going to find one. She's going to have to be enough as Jelly steps in. They've been a bit quiet of the last part of that last half, but now back into the action. And Mimi still brings him down. It just feels like it's meant to be for G2.
Absolutely. I mean, just clutch out of nowhere. Everything seemed to be going the way of MIBR. Trades back and forth, but Jelly was stepping up in that moment to get the slightest of advantage for the Brazilian team, and it's just not enough. Even in the 2 versus 1. Mimi, who's just been a consistent supporting element of the team throughout this series, finds a moment at the very end to shine on her own too.
What a finish. Oh yeah, you've got to be pleased with that. Now you know MIBR are forcing for the rest of the game. And honestly, it doesn't look great, Wyatt.
It definitely does not look... That's one way to put it.
The economy is...
It doesn't look great. Maybe an understatement.
It's haphazard at best.
It looks shockingly bad. If you take note of the economy, the fact that, I mean, look at G2 are on the cusp of every single ult. Better guns, better armor, they're up 8 rounds. They have 2 players with 21 kills. They're in a decent position to close this series out.
It's a pretty grim prognosis, Doctor.
I've polled the experts, and they are saying that G2 Gozen should probably win this game and be in the upper bracket. Now, that being said, the experts cannot come to a conclusion on who will end up top fragging this series.
Wyatt's favorite minigame, folks.
Petra or Vandy. They're still, it's mad that they're still both at 21-9. How is this happening? How are they just deadlocked at the same score this whole time?
It's her birthday. Thoughts?
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Just saying. All right. Yeah, 42 kills between the two of them. Accounting for like 70% of G2's kills between the 2 players, if not more. I'm not going to do the math, though. So very passive. I mean, G2 almost play around to push up into B lobby. MIBR just don't have the weapons to take these sort of longer ranged engagements. So many Spectres in the mix here.
You could even see from Mimi's position with that fault line that she was ready to stifle some really early aggression that never came from MIBR. The rescue week doesn't go down at the very least. G2 have really shown their propensity for patience against MIBR on these attack sides. We saw it all the way back on Bind as well.
It was their undoing there, though.
At times it certainly was, yeah. But at other times it was perfectly handled, exploiting MIBR's willingness to overly aggress in certain moments.
We are not seeing that here.
Certainly not.
So you're already ready to play off any sort of cam contact, and in comes the fault line rescue affected by it, which is able to get to the left just in time. Okay, here's the Nightfall. Juby's playing pretty far forward. Rescue says, I am here for the fight. Finds 2. Melissa might have been stood behind her. It's unclear, but both were heavily affected by that initiator util. And now MIBR are down to 3. 2 of them at least. Well, one of them has a rifle. It's just Jelly. Okay, Mimi's going to be detained there and no one's able to play off of it for G2. That's essentially a free kill, but Fanya is good for it. SRN is down. 2 versus 3 now as Jelly gets some action going. Fanya, again, the patience, it's signature, and it's crippling there for MIBR. And EMEA's darlings secure yet another upper final.
That was just complete annihilation on Sunset. The score on Split, I don't think indicates how strong G2 looked there either. 2 maps where they are an utter force on in this tournament. There's certainly been some ups and downs, both in this series and the last. But when we're seeing them at their peak, they are as deadly as ever. 3rd upper bracket final in a row, 3 years in a row in every Game Changers Championship. Another chance to get to the final. And a bit of revenge against Brazil from knocking them out. That early exit that they suffered last year.
For now, at least. What I did the last time was falling into the lower bracket and facing that Brazilian delegate. But at some point in that series, you noticed, you saw a real shift. G2 were able to start having fun, and my God, they made the most of that last map. Bind was very close, 6-6 half, right? We really felt like the attack side for MIBR was very solid there, but a double sentinel pick on Split. The defense side was incredible, 8 rounds for G2, and then they got so many post plants with the deadlock and Cypher util. Really just exploiting their compositional difference against MIBR, who didn't really seem to know how to unravel it.
Going forward in this tournament, tough ask to go up against this team on Sunset. They are phenomenal on that map. They are phenomenal. The way Vanya plays is utter perfection on Sunset. It really is. She is so good on that map. And then when you factor in as well the impact that a Cypher has there, the consistency that Amy is bringing to this team in the tournament, such a strong opponent to have to go up against. Honestly, I find it's hard to walk. Maybe you'll just say Petra, but I feel like it's hard to even walk away from this game and name an MVP. I think it's a little bit tough. I mean, Petra definitely goes crazy on the third map.
Petra's unreasonable 1v3 thrifty, for me, is it makes a pretty strong case for it, right? She uses every single bit of phase kit to perfection in that fight. This is it here. Absolutely jaw-dropping play. And they're just having a great time as well.
Oh my god!
And once again, must be mentioned,
Oh, this is not right.
G2, they won more pistols in the series than they lost.
That's it. Crazy, right? After the one from 6 previously, it's a nice adjustment. But I mean, Petra gets away with that, setting up in mid behind that box. 2 consecutive rounds, I think, or at least 2 rounds within 3.
3, I believe.
She gets 5 kills from that location.
It simply should not be happening. This clutch as well.
And see, Vanya, we talked about falling off this so patiently. She really doesn't have an ego about her as a player, and it shows.
Not at all. Not at all. And it was the situations like this where you could see tactically that this G2 roster just have a better understanding of the newest iteration of Sunset than their opposition.
Absolutely. We didn't get rid of see much from MIBR because they were so dominant, but now we got 2 teams that were fundamentally on similar levels. We got to assess the tactical depth of both of them, and it definitely seemed like G2 had the edge.
Also, importantly, the second story that was occurring, the Vanya versus Petra top frag battle. Vanya did end up winning that on her birthday, so we're all good.
I sent it down to Mika Fabs on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview with birthday girl Vanya.
I'm standing here right now with the birthday girl herself, Vanya. Vanya, happy birthday to you. Congratulations on the win, and we have Rebecca here to help with some translation. Now, Vanya, first question for you. There was a little bit of a struggle on Bind, so can you tell us, like, maybe what went wrong or what was the team struggling with that map?
Bind haritasında birazcık sorun yaşadığınızı gördük. Orada hani nasıl bir şeyle karşı karşıya geldiniz, nasıl bir engelle?
Bind'de savunma kısmında zaten sorun yaşıyorduk son dönemlerde ve maçta da aynı sorunu yaşadık. Hızlı reaksiyon gösteremedik ve hazırlıksız yakalandık rakibe sürekli. Kendimiz gibi oynamadık, biraz pasif oynadık savunmada. Bu yüzden dolayı kötü oynadığımızı düşünüyorum.
We were having some issues on the defense side like before as well, and this just happened again. We had some struggles that we couldn't get over, and we were really passive, so that's why we were struggling.
But then we move over to Split and to Sunset, and the vibes are immaculate. So just how different were the vibes compared to that first map?
Ama sonra Split ve Sunset'te çok farklı bir takım gördük. Orada sizin aranızdaki etkileşim, vibe'lar nasıldı?
Split'e de son günlerde daha çok çalışmaya başlamıştık ve iyi olduğumuzu gerçekten biliyorduk ve kendi oyunumuza odaklanmayı planladık. Kendi oyunumuzu oynadık Split'te ve 3. haritada da zaten aynı oyunumuzu devam ettirdiğimiz için her şey yolunda ilerledi. İyi oynadığımızda gerçekten bu şekilde maçlar sonuçlanıyor.
We already knew that our split was really good. We have been practicing it a lot in the last days, and we just knew we had to play our own game, and that's also what happened in the third map. We just continued playing our own game like the way we practiced it.
And have fun while doing it too. You guys are having so much fun. I am curious though, there were so many good moments in that final map, and there's so many clutches. Which one had you on like the edge of your seat?
Son map'te bir sürü çok heyecan verici clutch durumlarıyla karşı karşıyaydınız. Peki senin için en heyecanlısı hangisiydi?
Petra'nın B'de 1 ve 2 aldığı clutch vardı. Breach'e klasikle direkt headshot atmıştı. O clutch benim için çok önemliydi. Çünkü öncesinde bayağı sarf etmiştik o roundda bir şeyler. Sonrasında o roundu kazanmak gerçekten benim için çok anlamlıydı. Ve Petra sağ olsun bugün herkesi vurdu yani.
The one that was most exciting for me was the round where Petra was 1 versus 2 on the B side, because the whole round was really like, competitive, and we put a lot into the round. So then when she won it, that was the most exciting clutch for me, and like she was just killing everyone this match.
And pretty much everybody just shouted out at that moment, right? But everybody here has a very special something to say to you as well, Vanya. So would you guys want to sing a happy birthday to the birthday girl? Let's have it. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vanya. Happy birthday to you. Vanya, happy birthday, and thank you so much. Congratulations on that win.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Moose is gonna stick this one. Send their side drop. Oh my God, Moose! Towards the front. Alexis trying to do everything on her own.
Grabbing himself a weapon now. A series. There's the one who's got something to win. Just right above it. 3 for the lead. A phenomenal round.
Oh my, 4 kills for Mimi. Mimi with the ace.
A vantagem aumenta. E agora só dai que sai Yuri.
But opening first is MIBR.
Coconut is just way too fast.
Buena por parte de Com que saca la doble.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.